what is a crime scene, and laws of forensic science which are mandatory to investigate a crime scene. Each crime scene is unique because the chain of events that create it is unique, but there is uniformity in how to study and process a crime scene. Therefore, in this video, we will talk about fundamentals of crime scene processing.
A main goal of CSI is to successfully identify and preserve physical evidence. There are two general types of evidence. First is the direct and second is the physical evidence. Direct or testimonial evidence is the form of a statement made under oath. Example dito is yung eyewitness and confession. Confession, example dito is yung mga parts sa krimen, yung parang sumuko na at saka nag-confess, ganun. And yung mga eyewitness, yung mga witness na nakita sa krimen. Second is the physical evidence. Any and all object and materials that are relevant in a crime. Lahat daw ng object and materials na naiwan sa crime scene. Na example dito is yung drugs, toxic substance, firearms, yung blood, yung body fluids, glass, hair, fingerprint, and etc. What is crime scene? A crime scene is any physical scenes anywhere that may provide potential evidence. Ang crime scene is kung saan yung nangyari ang krimen. And it may provide potential evidence kung saan nandun din yung mga evidence. Included a person's body, any type of building, vehicles, placed in the open air or object that found at those location. Crime scene is an area or vicinity of occurrence of physical evidence. No? Yun nga, yung katulad ng sinabi ko kung saan nangyari yung krimen, tsaka yung mga naiwan na mga physical evidence. Yun yung crime scene. What the purpose of crime scene? The purpose of crime scene is to investigate the crime and to help establish what happened and to identify the person who commit the crime. That is the purpose of the crime scene. Help first is to investigate the crime scene and to identify the responsible person. What constitute a crime scene? The crime scene can be understood to include all areas in which the criminal, any possible victim, and any eyewitness moved during the time the crime was committed. Ito yung mga yung mga yung mga ng suspect, yung na kung saan yung suspect is naglib ng trace or naglib ng bakas na pwedeng maitulong to track this person, no? And kung sino yung kasama niya, sino yung contact niya, at saka yung location niya. And any eyewitness moved during the time that crime was committed, kung sino yung mga nakakita ng kung sino yung mga tao na nandun bago yung krimen nangyari. What is crime scene investigation? It is the conduct of process, no? It's a conduct of process to recognize the suspect and preserve documentation of physical evidence to include the identification. Yun nga, yung sinabi ko is to identify the suspect and interview the witness to arrest the suspect at the crime scene. Yun nga, yung crime scene investigation is yung yung kung saan yung crime na nakomit, and to investigate na. Nag-aano sila, nag-search, handling, preservation, documentation, physical evidence. Yan. Crime scene investigation, the use of physical evidence, no? Ginagamit nila yung mga natirang evidence. For example, doon is yung mga fingerprint, yung mga natira ng suspect, yung trace ng suspect, para ma-identify yung suspect. And in the use deductive and inductive reasoning to gain knowledge of the events surrounding the crime.
Composition of SOCO team. Team leader. Number 1. Assume control. Ensure safety of personnel and security at scene. Ensure personnel use appropriate protective equipment and follow standard recommendations to protect them from any health hazard which might be presented by blood or any other human body fluid. Conduct initial walk. For purposes of making a preliminary survey, evaluating potential evidence, and preparing a narrative description. Number 3. Determine search patterns and make appropriate assignments for team members. Number 4. Designate command post location and ensure exchange of information between search and investigative personnel. Number 5. Coordinate with other law enforcement agency and make sure a cooperative spirit is maintained. Number 6. Ensure that sufficient supplies and equipment are available for personnel. Number 7. Control access to the scene and designate an individual to log everyone into the scene. Number 8. Continuously re-evaluate efficiency of search during entire course of operations. Number 9. Release the scene after a final survey and inventory of the evidence has been done. Evidence recorder custodian. Number 1. Have a significant evidence photograph before collection. Number 2. Describe evidence and its location on appropriate bag or envelope. Number 3. Sign and date evidence container, maintain chain of custody. Number 4. Appropriately collect and package evidence to maximize evidence integrity. Number 5. Maintain evidence log. Number 6. Use appropriate protective equipment, gloves, and methods when dealing with potentially ineffective evidence, blood. Photograph. Number 1. Photograph entire area before it is entered. Number 2. Photograph victims, crowd, and vehicles. Number 3. Photograph entire scene with overall medium and close-up coverage using measurement scale when appropriate. Number 4. Photograph major evidence items before they are moved. Coordinate this effort with sketch preparer, evidence recorder, and evidence recovery personnel. Number 5. Photograph all latent fingerprints and other impression evidence before lifting and casting are accomplished. Number 6. Prepare photographic log and photographic sketch. Sketch. Number 1. Diagram immediate area of scene and orient diagram with sketch. Number 2. Set forth major items of evidence on sketch. Number 3. Designate and label areas to be searched and advise team leader and all other search members of nomenclature for designated areas. Number 4. Obtain appropriate assistance for taking measurements and double-check measurements. Number 5. Ensure necessary administrative information such as scale disclaimer is recorded on sketch. Basic SOCO equipment materials. Number 1. Police line. Number 2. Measuring device. Example, ruler and measuring tape. Number 3. Recording materials. Example, chalk, notebook, sketching and paper pad, pencils, pentel pens, permanent ink marker, and bond paper. Number 5. SLR camera with film. Basic SOCO equipment materials. A video camera, tape recorder, evidence collection kit, compass, searchlight with battery charger, evidence, tags, markers, first aid kit, paper bags, all sizes. Basic SOCO equipment materials. Number 1. Stylus. Number 2. Vernier caliper. Number 3. Micrometer. Number 4. paraffin wax. Number 5. SOCO forms and crime lab request form. Number 6. Gloves. Number 7. Gauze. Number 8. Fingerprint card. Basic SOCO equipment materials. Number 1. Black and white latent lifting card. Number 2. Eraser. Number 3. Stapler with extra stapler wire. Number 4. Kit board. SOCO tools. Number 1. Flashlight. Number 2. Scissors. Number 3. Knife. Number 4. Rulers and measuring tapes. Number 5. Adjustable wrench. Number 6. Pliers. Number 7. Wire cutter. Number 8. Complete screwdriver set. SOCO tools. Number 1. Saw. Number 2. Hammer. Number 3. Axe or hatchet. Number 4. Shovel. Number 5. Fingerprint magnifier. Number 6. Nylon brush. Number 7. Magnet. Number 8. Spatula. SOCO tools. Number 1. Box of plaster of Paris for casting of lifting. Number 2. Goggles. Number 3. Seating screen. Number 4. Funnel. Number 5. Scalpels. Number 6. A ladder. Preparation basic equipment. Police line, marker, camera with film, evidence collection kit, video camera and tape recorder, measuring device, ruler and measuring tape, flashlights, hand gloves, mask, eye goggles, and hairnet. Recording materials, example, chalkboard, bond paper, pencil, clipboard, and pentel pens.
Therefore, in this video, we will talk about fundamentals of crime scene processing, as the crime scene is constantly changing and decaying after its creation. We will also emphasize on methods to document a crime scene to preserve the information for later studies. Locard's principle of mutual exchange becomes very important at scene of crime. The job of crime scene investigation team is to look around for physical evidence which are generated due to coming in contact with suspect or victim. Now, we must know who's involved in a crime scene investigation. Professionals at the scene of a crime may include police officers, crime scene investigators, and scientific specialists. Question may arise here: what role does forensic expert play at a crime scene? The answer to that is, on the request of investigating officer, the forensic experts can assist in collection of crucial evidence, also their proper packaging and preservation to assure fruitful results post-analysis. Important thing to remember at crime scene is that the safety of all individuals present is the first priority and preservation of evidence is the second. Now, to properly investigate a crime scene, one must follow the following steps. Secure the scene, separate the witness, record the scene, search for physical evidence, collection of physical evidence. First, securing the crime scene, because if the area is left unsecured, the transfer, loss, or contamination of evidence may occur. It is the responsibility of first responder to protect the area within which the crime has occurred by restricting all unauthorized persons from entering, keeping a security log of all those who visit the crime scene, collect pertinent information, and request additional manpower and field experts related to crime scene if required. If there are witnesses, they must not be allowed to talk to each other. This separation is done to avoid witnesses working together to create a story. After the crime scene has been secured, it should be recorded properly. Photography and videography of overall area and close-up photos with and without a measuring ruler should be taken. A view of the crime scene should be taken from several different angles and distances. Several close-up photos of any evidence and bodies should be taken. Make an accurate rough sketch. The collection of evidence depends upon the type of evidence on a crime scene. Temporary, fragile, or easily lost evidences should be collected first. Protective clothing should be worn at the crime scene while collecting evidence. Always follow standard procedures and techniques for evidence collection and storage. For example, blood sample should not be packaged in wet condition. It should be air dried after collection. All evidence needs to be properly packaged, sealed, and labeled. An evidence log and a chain of custody document must be attached to the evidence container. The evidence log should contain all pertinent information, including case number, description of evidence, name of victim, name of suspect, date and time of recovery, signature of person recovering the evidence, signature of any witness present during collection. Chain of custody refers to the process of maintaining and documenting the handling of evidence. It involves keeping a detailed log showing who collected, handled, transferred, or analyzed evidence during an investigation.
Define a crime scene. Crime scenes are diverse and unique. No two scenes are exactly the same. Kung makikita niyo po sa picture, may dalawang crime scene na magkaiba. Isang outdoor at isang indoor. Ang pinagkaiba po ng dalawang ito, ang outdoor ay nagaganap sa mga lugar na parke o sa mga lugar na street. Ang indoor naman po ay nagaganap ang isang krimen sa loob ng bahay, opisina, at iba pa. Each crime scene can be a combination of this classification. Also, an investigation proceeds. The definition of the crime scene can be constantly modified. General procedures for crime scene investigation. A. Secure and protect the crime scene. Number 1. First responding officer. Critical rule. Responsibilities included. Assist the victim. Search for the arrest suspect if possible. Detain all witnesses. Protect and secure the scene. Note and communicate to investigators all movement and alternation made to the scene. Number 1. Assist the victim. Kadalasan po sa isang crime scene, marami tayong makikita kumpulan ng mga tao na malapit dun sa victim. Magagawa po natin yan is ihawi sila papalayo ng kaunti sa victim. Number 2. Search for and arrest suspect if possible. Diyan po natin magagamit yung mga bystanders na nasa scene. Pwede po tayo magtanong doon kung may nakita kung ano nangyari, sino yung gumawa ng krimen na ito. Number 3. Detain all witnesses. Ibig sabihin po ng detain, hindi po ikukulong. I-hold na po sila for further investigation para matanong din po sila ng mga investigador na palating. Number 4. Protect and secure the scene. Diyan po, gagawin ng mga kapulisan natin yung pagkukordon. Or pag wala pong kordon, sabi nga po ng ating professor, is human barricade. Magagamit din po natin yung mga bystanders para sa protection ng scene. Number 5. Note and communicate to investigators all movements and alternation made to the scene. Mahalaga pong ninote natin at nakikipag-communicate tayo sa investigador para alam nila kung ano ang mga nangyari sa scene habang sila ay papunta pa lamang. Secure and protect the crime scene. Number 2. Establish crime scene security. A. Y. Locard's principle. B. Multi-level approach. Establish crime scene security. Bakit kailangan ng security sa crime scene? Sabi sa Locard's principle, state that whenever two objects come in contact, a transfer of material occurs. Halimbawa, kapag ang killer ay pumasok at lumabas pagtapos ng nangyaring krimen, ang killer ay pwede mag-iwan na pwedeng maging ebidensya, tulad ng dugo, latent prints o yung mga fingerprints, buhok, at fibers. Minsan, pwede rin ang mismong ginamit ni killer ang maiwan sa crime scene. Letter B. Multi-level approach. Kung makikita nyo po sa picture, level 1, level 2, at level 3. At meron pong bilog dyan. Yung level 3 po is considered as yung target area or yung crime scene. Command center, gawin na lang po natin siguro sila yung mga investigador. Level 2, yung human barricade na lang po. Ngayon, bakit kailangan ng security? Ang ginagawa po ni level 1 is to provide enough security para kung sino man po yung mga hindi naman po kailangan na pumasok doon sa loob ay hindi na po makapasok. B. Survey the scene. Number 1. Walk through. Number 2. Transient, temporary, or conditional, the result of an action, evidence, points of entry and exit, and initial observations. C. Documenting a crime scene. 4 main components: notes, photography, videotape, sketch. Walkthrough. Dito na po papasok yung ating mga investigador. Titignan po nila yung bawat anggulo kung paano nangyari o naganap krimen. Titignan din po nila kung paano nakapasok or paano nakalabas yung gumawa ng krimen. Habang sila po ay nag-o-observe sa crime scene, bawat po na obserba nila ay tinitake down notes nila or minsan pinipicture nila bawat anggulo ng mga na-obserba nila. Videotape naman po if kailangan ng proof na talagang hindi nila dinadaya yung picture. Sa sketch naman po if may mga bystanders doon or mga tao sa mismong bahay na pinangyarihan ng krimen at masabi kung sino yung huling pumasok at huling lumabas. Crime scene searches. Preliminary search. A. Done once the scene is secured. B. Purpose. Not obvious evidence. Number 2. Post-documentation search. A. Intensive search for less obvious overlooked evidence. B. Completed before collection and packaging of evidence. C. Evidence found must be documented before collection. Search and methods patterns. A. Purpose. Provide systematic search so no evidence miss. B. Organize. Everyone on the same page and stress no touching or altering evidence. Just mark they are there. C. 6 most common search patterns. Number 1. Link. Number 2. Line or strip. Number 3. Grid. Number 4. Wheel or ray. Number 5. Spiral. And number 6. Zone. Link pattern. Base ito sa linkage theory. Ito ang pinaka-common na pattern kung saan kapag may isang ebidensya na pwede pang mag-lead ng isa pang ebidensya. Number 2, line or strip pattern. Ginagamit ito sa mga outdoor scenes. Kailangan dito ng search coordinator. Number 3, grid pattern. Modified double line search. Effective pero time consuming. Number 4, wheel or ray pattern. Used for special situations, best used on small circular crime scene. Number 5, spiral pattern. Inward or outdoor spiral. Best used on crime scenes with no physical barrier. Example, open water. At number 6, zone pattern. Best used on scene with defined zone or areas. Effective in houses or house or buildings. Good for warrant searches.
Systematic so that no evidence is missed. The searching pattern normally depends upon the type of crime scene and number of investigators available. The following search patterns ensure that no area is left unsearched. Number 1, strip or line method. The whole area has been sealed into rectangle and then search is proceeded parallel to one side of rectangle. Number 2, spiral method. The searcher starts the searching from the point just outside the area of crime scene and move along the path of spiral till they reach the crime spot. Quadrant or zone method. The entire area to be searched is sealed into a big square. The big square is then subdivided into 4 small squares assigned to different searchers. Wheel or ray method. The entire area is marked as circle. The searcher may start their search from the center and proceed along.
Collection of evidence done after crime scene, documentation and intensive search for evidence. Evidence collector. One person given this job. Why? To ensure evidence collected, packaged, marked, sealed, and preserved in consistent manner. Isang tao lang ang pwede sa evidence collector para masecure o masigurado ang mga ebidensya, ang package, mark, sealed, at para ma-preserve o ma-maintain sa tunay nitong hugis. Order of collection. No set order. Depends on nature of the evidence. Example, transient, fragile, or easily lost evidence collected first. Important, if any new evidence discovered must first document it before it collecting. Kapag may nakuha daw ebidensya, kailangan mong gawan ng document bago ito kolektahin. General collection guidelines. Most item packaged in primary container then placed inside the secondary container. Karamihan sa ebidensya ay nakalagay sa primary container at ilalagay pa ulit ito sa isa pang container para masiguradong di magalaw. Outer container. Completely sealed at the time of collection with tamper-resistant tape. Marked with items contain ID of collector, time, date, and location of collection. Ang ebidensya ay nakasealed ng tamper-resistant tape o security tape at may nakamark kung ano yung item, kung sino nagkolekta, kung anong oras, kung anong araw, at kung saan nakuha yung evidence. Each time package separately to prevent cross-contamination. Sinasabi dito na huwag pagsamasamahin yung mga nakolektang ebidensya para hindi maghalo-halo o kaya masira. Ways to package different categories of evidence. Biological material, package in a dry paper bag, not plastic. Ito yung mga test tube plates na mga pang-lab at kailangan nakalagay sa paper bag. Trace evidence, package in a small envelope or tins, druggies, folds used as a primary container. Ito yung mga buhok at mga gunshot powder na pwedeng gamitin para sa mga ebidensya at na nakalagay ito sa maliit na envelope. Fingerprint. Lifted fingerprints are attached to an index card. Kinukuha nila yung fingerprint at ina-attach ito sa index cards. Arson debris. Packaged in old paint cans or mason jars. Ito yung mga abon na pwede pang maging ebidensya. Ilalagay ito sa lalagyan ng pintura o kaya sa jars para maiwasan magulo o kaya masira. Casting, package in a bag with conditioning. Ito yung mga natunaw na nakalagay. Ito yung mga natunaw na bagay na nakalagay sa box na may cotton sa paligid para maiwasan masira o mabasag. Crime scene reconstruction, the process of analyzing data to ultimately develop a theory of the crime. Stages involved: data collection, conjecture, hypothesis formation, testing, theory formation. Crime scene sketching. Crime scene sketching is the final step in crime scene documentation. Provides for dimensional relationships. Two views, bird eye view, top down. Ito yung mga kuha sa taas katulad ng mga drone. Elevation view, side on. Ito yung mga kuha sa gilid sa mga side. Two types of sketch. Rough sketch. Completed at scene, not to scale. Ito yung kompleto na yung drawing ng scene, crime scene, kaso wala pa masyadong mga details. Final sketch, completed later with a lots of time and detail drawn to scale. Ito yung kompleto na yung drawing sa crime scene at kompleto na rin yung details. 4 techniques for measuring evidence. Number 1, triangulation, indoor. 2. Rectangular coordinates, indoor. 3. Baseline, outdoor. 4. Polar coordinates, outdoor. Here are the example of crime scene sketch.
Sketch of crime scene, noting the position of body and any other evidence. All objects should be measured from 2 immovable landmarks. On the sketch, north should be labeled and a scale of distance should be provided. Any other object in the vicinity of crime scene should be included in the sketch. Later, a more accurate final copy of the crime scene should be made for possible presentation in the court.